What's up, guys? So, boy, do I have a story for you today. I think there'll be some Battlefield in the background. If not, then some Call of Duty Black Ops. Wow. Okay, so if you follow me on Twitter, you may have an idea of what happened yesterday. But if not, then this will be the first you're hearing of it. So basically, yesterday, our family went out to go boating, as we do a couple times a year, mostly in the summer, right? And so we were on this lake. It's like a delta, so it's like a river, but it's like a bunch of like it just spreads out into all this farmland. So basically, it's like I don't know, it's just like a mesh of rivers, pretty much. That's how I would describe it. But anyways, probably the average distance in between like the width of it is probably 50 to 100 feet, somewhere in there. Probably more like 100 feet. Um, Maybe even, yeah, I'd say about a football field wide, about the average. But so we were having a good day. I was driving a lot. Like at the beginning, we were trying to drive out to this restaurant, and so we did. And along the way, my dad was like, "Make sure you stay, kind of away from the shore because you never know, there could be a big rock or something that you don't see. You really don't want to hit the rock or anything. That's really bad. You'll start taking on water and all this stuff." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, okay, sure, I'm fine." But we kept on going, and we go through the whole day. I did some kneeboarding, did some other stuff, and my dad is driving back to the dock. We're trying to get there pretty quick because my brother has plans that night, and I did too. So we're trying to get back quick. We had to take a stop for my sister to get ice cream, so it kind of like we're late and stuff. So we're trying to get back, and he's going pretty fast through these these little rivers is what I would call them. And he's getting pretty close to the side. So I was like, "Hey, hey, stop, stop! You're getting like really close to the side. I'm worried about it." And I was like, "Mom, it's okay. Don't be so nervous. Like, don't worry about it." And so we keep going, and we're probably going pretty fast, 35, 40 miles an hour, which is faster than you would think in a boat because you're like exposed to wind and stuff, so it feels really fast. And so we're going, and we're almost to our dock. It's like around the next turn, and on the second to last turn, my dad is middle of the turn. Coming out of the turn, he looks back to look at. He said he was looking at a buoy or something that was in the boat, making sure it was not like flying out. And as he's looking back, he didn't stop the turn, so we kept turning, and we hit the side of the uh, river, which is actually it's a man-made thing, so it's just a pile of rocks at a pretty steep angle, and we slammed into the side. The whole boat was probably out of the water on the side of the rocks. My mom flew out, almost out of the boat. She landed on the railing across from her, like which was like over me. She flew like over me and forward, and landed on the railing on the very edge of the boat. Was able to get herself back in. My dad slammed his face against the windshield, and his ribs hit the steering wheel. He broke 3 ribs and got 14 stitches in his face, over his eye and under his eye, and on his like bridge of his nose and stuff. And brother had a bruise on his side, a pretty big cut on his side. My sister hit her head. Might have gotten like a very minor concussion. My mom had bruises all down her leg. It was a nightmare. So we hit that thing, and everyone's stunned. And my dad's like, "Try to get it back to the dock." And so I take the wheel and try to rev the engine, and it's grinding. I can hear the engine moving, but the prop is just disconnected. I'm not sure if it was ripped off or what, but there was nothing moving us, and we were taking on water extremely fast. At this point, we had, we hit the side and like slid back down into the water. And so my brother and I jump out of the boat, and we push it to the opposite side of the river, and against the other rocks, and get everyone out. And the thing is just sinking like super fast. My dad has like blood on his shirt and all this stuff, and it was a nightmare. So the boat's pretty much totaled. They pulled it out today. Um, it has a long, just hole in the hull, from like the bow to the stern pretty much. Just the whole side I think is probably ripped up. There were some things that we put in a lower compartment in the boat that later on, when it was pretty sunk, it's sunk all the way down so that the water was up to the dashboard of it, probably like up like past, almost past the wheel, when it was done sinking, when it like rested on the side of the river or whatever. And we tried to tie it up and everything so it wouldn't get drifted off or anything like that. But I was looking for my dad's shoes and a wakeboard. I don't know where the wakeboard went, but his shoes were long gone. They were supposed to be in there, but I think what happened was when we hit the rocks, the hole that was created was so big that I think it sucked them out whenever we were still moving after we hit them, or something like that. I think it might have somehow sucked his shoes out of the boat because there was no sign of them. And so we got all of our stuff out of the boat as fast as we could. The water's like, if you're standing in the boat, the water would have been up to probably like my belly button. And I'm a pretty tall guy, I'm like 6'1", so yeah. And so I was like dunking my head, like holding my breath and swimming down into the compartments trying to find stuff. And it was just not a good time. It was one of those things where you would never expect it to ever happen. You feel so confident and secure, and like my dad has never had things like this ever happen. Like the most he's done is maybe scraped the prop on like a rock or something, but all it did was leave a scratch. It didn't really affect the boat at all. And it was just weird to see the boat in such like a disabled, position, because like I don't know, this boat was like 10 years old. It's a nice boat as well, like a very nice. We kept it up really well, waxed it every year. So it still looked brand new, but it was probably on the older side of 10 years. And so I mean, it was just weird to see it underwater. You always, it feels so secure when you're standing in it. It's like a pretty stable thing. It's almost like you're standing on like ground, when there's not too many waves. And so it was just weird to see it like just wrecked almost instantly, just gone. And I don't know, it's just one of those things you would never expect something like that to happen. You always say like, oh, it won't happen to me, and then it does, and you're kind of astonished, So that was definitely, it was probably, I mean, we very easily someone could have died if they had. My mom probably was in the worst position because she was in the front of the boat. I was too, but she was on the side that we hit, so she got launched. And if she had fallen out of the boat, she would have gone right under it. And when the boat slid off the rocks, as it did, it probably would have crushed her body against the rocks. And so that could have been very bad. Someone could have easily, I don't know, broken a leg or arm or something like that. Even like broken their neck if they had fell on it wrong. I mean, it could have been deadly. I mean, we're just really lucky that it wasn't. And so yeah, that was definitely pretty scary. And then UHC, Inversion UHC, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it, but it's coming out soon. I'm just going to say that, okay? Don't tell anyone I said it. But I won't say, winners or anything like that. That would just be stupid. But that was fun. So you'll see that coming. Other than that, pretty normal day. Yeah, so that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the story of my misery, and I'll see you guys in the next one.